What's up, guys, and welcome to our podcast. I am Henny.
You forgot the name of it. It's the Gatekeepers. She tried to do the intro, but it's my job. You tried to jump in and beat me to my job.
I really tried to cut him off. Like, you could see his lips were just up against the microphone, and he was paused and ready to do his little spiel.
And I just came in and forgot the name of our podcast.
I absolutely just caved.
Welcome back to the Gatekeepers podcast with Henny and Harpoon.
What's up, guys? Firstly, thank you guys so much for listening to our first podcast and sharing it and sending us all these incredible messages. Ryan was even saying he was playing the other day. And he was
playing last night, and I've had 3 people come up just in one night saying that they listened to it. People I would not expect to be listening to it, so thank you for coming up and letting us know.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things that it hits differently when people compliment you for your mind, because it's like it has nothing to do with our exterior, and it has everything to do with what's coming out of us. So I don't know, the compliment really hits the feels when people give it.
It really does.
Keep them coming, guys. It's really stroking our ego.
Keep them coming. Today we've had a pretty busy day on shoot. I've been shooting some content.
Some Only Friends.
Some Only Friends content for sweet little Henrietta, and we've got a pretty funny story from today. So I'm just going to launch straight into it.
Going straight in.
There was a guy today. We had Henny and Lauren both in skimpy little outfits with their bikinis getting some saucy content, and there was a builder on the roof opposite. And he was getting a good sneak preview of what they have to offer, what they ate for breakfast pretty much. This guy was supposedly spray painting the roof next door, and he never left one side of the roof. One side of that roof is dirty as fuck still. I can guarantee you that, because he stayed on one side. He washed it all day, and he was perving the whole time.
I'm pretty sure that whoever's roof it was that he was working on, they really got extra service. He went over and beyond to maintain that roof. There were a lot of tiles that were untouched before, and he really went in for it.
And the best part was, I was just like, I bet you he just put a high-vis shirt on and got his back garden hose on and just pretended to start washing. He's not even a tradie.
No.
He just jumped up on his roof. His wife's probably in stairs like, what are you doing, honey? And he's like, just washing the tiled roof.
It's raining. I'm worried about the gutters clogging.
You've never worried about them in 20 years. Why start now?
You heard the hum of Lauren's Maserati coming down the drive. The white blonde hair flicked out. He's like, all right, time to do the neighbour.
Time to wash the roof again.
The house that we were actually shooting at was this incredible house over in Palm Beach.
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
No, we're in Tweed Heads. We're in New South Wales.
Oh, actually. Crossing that border. Actually, no, I did know that because Lauren and
Because you booked the studio. That's how you knew.
No, the only reason we were talking about it in the first place was when Lauren and I were driving there, that the time zones, when there's 2 different time zones, you literally drive into Tweed Heads and it's like a different time zone. So you would be like an hour
It's only
out. An hour.
But
like we were like, fuck, like shit, we booked this studio and we were like, oh my God, are we an hour early or like an hour late for our reservation because they booked it in the Tweed time. But yeah, that's... Yeah,
You're only 10 minutes late. It's fine.
No,
I was there 10 minutes before you.
Because I told you to come at 11 because
Boyfriend of the year got sent to go get fucking coconut oil from 3 different shops.
Credit I've got to give to Rye. He is an incredible boyfriend of Instagram / OnlyFriends. And even to the point that even Lauren was shooting and Yaz was taking some content because we were just we divided and conquered. Ryan was doing content for me and then Yaz was shooting some content for Loz. And when Yaz was shooting the content, he was like standing on the sidelines. He's like, Lauren, you need to fix your shorts. You need to adjust your shorts up. He's like meticulous. He knows what's up. I
know how to get the shot. I've been trained well. I've been trained by the best.
Whenever Ryan's shooting content for me, though, it's always, and particularly now that I'm making content for Only Friends, he always says to me, he looks at me and he's like, I just like to shoot the way that I would want to like look at a girl or like a girl to
I
look
want
at
to
me.
shoot you the way I would masturbate to your photos.
Okay.
Let's get real. and I said my favorite pose is when girls have their legs like open and there's sort of like, what was the pose? And they're sort of like inviting you into their legs.
Their hands are kind of like draped on their legs. You're
they're sort of like
and then like looking
sitting back,
straight up,
legs
in the
open,
eyes.
and they're sort of like, giving the sex eyes. Because as a guy sees that, it's like, come on in, You know, like
this content will not be on Instagram, guys. You're just going to have to go and subscribe to my new channel. When it's up, it's coming in hot.
It's coming in hot.
But you guys, if that's just a teaser of what type of thing's going to be on there's going to be that and so much more.
But
especially
I feel like,
Ryan's shooting the content. Let's just throw that out now.
It's what I want. So it's the content that I want. So
I mean, it really is.
That's the direction.
Look, a male.
I even made pop a little finger in the mouth and go.
Yeah, I don't know. When I was going through just before, I was like, I don't know if the finger will make the cut, but oh well, that's just for me. We'll see. That one's just for I'll frame it and put it like on all of his screens. So if any hog out there decides they want to crack on, I'm there. I'm in it.
Alrighty, guys. So we've got a few different things we're going to talk about this week. We've got a variety of little topics that Henny can introduce, but I'm also going to throw in some topics of my own, which I haven't told Henny about. Just because I like to keep it real and like to get her natural reaction. She wasn't a big fan of this. Let's
just throw it out there. The other day, we put a question box out to you guys to ask some questions, and then we went into the podcast without even looking really at the questions. There was only it had been half an hour, so only a few had come through. Went in there and we were rambling. We were on this wild tangent of going down our past, like talking about bullies, and it was just like, that part was just crazy. And then we went into the question section, which was pretty good because we had some decent questions, but I was like, this is rubbish. Like, we have to can this. Like, the poor people will be like on their walks or driving the car and just be like, where is this going? So you guys are just going to have to hear about the bullying stories another day.
Yeah, we pretty much scrapped a whole episode. There's some good stuff in there, but it will never see the light of day, unfortunately.
On only if you want to pay.
What? If you want to pay?
No, I'm joking.
We'll give it a good razzle up when it's out.
All right, so is it my turn first? Do I get to ask the questions or are you going to be the
Yeah, you can say whatever you like.
Okay, side note. God knows what Ryan is going to ask me, guys. I'm just going to be internally screaming, but trying to be a diplomat here. We'll see how it goes. All right. So these are questions that you guys have asked myself and also our joint Instagram page. Okay. Firstly, Harpoon official. How to balance life, work, and your relationship when you don't live together.
When you don't live together.
Well, I think it's meant to be when you don't live together, or maybe it is maybe let's say when you live together.
How to balance life, work,
and your relationship
when you do live together. Is that what we're doing?
Either, I guess. Let's just say in general. Let's los dos.
In our case, we're lucky because we have jobs that allows us to be together pretty much 24/7. You work from home.
Yeah.
And I work from home.
Yeah.
So I think our biggest thing is actually getting away from each other. I love some space because I'm a Brumby, as we know.
He's a peacock. He's got to fly.
Yeah, I'm a peacock. You got to let me fly. So sometimes I like getting away, doing my own thing, and so do you.
Yeah.
The balance, it's very hard trying to find a balance. I'm always like work focused, so everything else is sort of second. And I think that's pretty similar to you as well. We're both hustling so hard that we just want to achieve our goals. I'll let you take it, and then I'll just spitball. I'll just spitball back in when something comes to me.
I personally think that like one of the most difficult things about this question is it's not necessarily like balancing all those factors. I think that people as individuals can balance things really well, or some individuals can, some can't, but it's aligning your timing right. So like if something's a priority for you, like if you're gunning hard at work and you're like really in a focus and a zone with work, and your partner's like, hey, I'm just taking a beat and I'm pulling back at the moment and I want to chill and I want to be like, even like for instance, like at nighttime, let's say like Ryan is creating music and he's like really in a zone and he's like really like he's got into a good rhythm for the day and he's powering out, but I'm exhausted from like working in the day and I want to chill at nighttime. That are like, it would be like, oh, it's annoying that like we can't spend time together because he's not doing it on the same time with me. But I think the way around that is kind of like a compromising sort of thing. Like I think that ultimately like it's hard. It is hard and no one has the perfect answer for it. You guys just have to figure out what works for you. But like for me in that example, I'd be like, you know what, like it's mostly that I just want to spend time with Rye. So I kind of just sit in his studio and I do a bit of work at that same time, or just like, and we'll be connecting and talking and still spending time together. It's not ideally, I guess, quality time, like we're fully connected and being present, but it's spending time together. And I think if you remove the idea that you have to have these perfect circumstances where you guys are cuddled up on the couch and you're watching a movie or you're going on a romantic date and you really just like take it for what it is and taking you do some connection as a connection, then that's like the perfect way that you can balance it out.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of compromise, like what you said. So today, for example, was a compromise for me where I just sat back and gave you half my day, and there'll be days where you do the same for me.
It's
and
the
shoot
late nights
my
and the early mornings at the clubs.
Yeah, you shoot my content and like etc. And we just help each other in that regard.
Yeah.
It is good that we like to just be hustling together, like Henny said, in the same room. I just like to know that she's there because sometimes it is a bit isolating making music.
Sitting there.
Yeah, I just like knowing that she's there, not because I just don't think she's doing anything. I just like her in the background. Yeah,
we don't really talk. Like, I mean, you'll connect. Like, we bob in and out. And if I've got a question or like we want to talk, but like it's more so just like spending time with each other, right?
It is, and it isn't though. So, for example, I feel like if people are out there calling quality time, I don't know. We sometimes say like we watch a movie on the lounge together.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, if you're going on a first date, I think going for a movie date is like the worst thing ever because you're actually not even engaging or learning anything about it. And some people, you know, pride their relationships on, okay, I went on a date, but I went to the movies and we just both sat side by side, not communicating and watching a show. So we're sort of just happy to be around each other
because we're also different people though. Like there's a lot of boring cunts out there, to be honest, who don't have much to say, and like to be honest, there's a lot of couples out there that are kind of quiet people that don't really talk. Like they're happy just sitting in their lane, and for them, like I'm not going to yuck someone's yum. Like if someone feels that a high quality connected point and that's something that they love to do, they'd love to go and sit at the movies next to each other, and that's like something that they really bond over. Like as opposed to us who are super chatty, and we like, for us, we're like, we come out of podcast and we're like, fuck, I feel so good because we've like fully been submerged and connected and chatting. Like that's our young. So I'm not going to ever to
be honest, this podcast is probably as real as we get. Like with each other, to be honest, we don't spend 45 minutes or an hour looking at each other talking like this intensively.
What person does though in general without like scrolling through social media and like connecting and like being distracted with television and all? But
I'd say this is our most quality time we have.
So the moral of the story is start a
podcast together
with your partner or your boyfriend.
Schedule 45 minutes a week.
45, and we even find it hard sometimes to shoot the podcast, which is so ridiculous. Yeah, we spend so much time together, but. You know, like you always make time for things in life that are a priority for you. So like even tonight.
That's why I never see Henny.
Even tonight, even though like we're both really tired, we both have had like really big few days. There's so much going on for each of us.
I'm out here trying to do my tax return. God, fucking damn it. And here we go. We're shooting a potty.
Priorities, right?
Yeah. Mine sort of little things I want to talk about.
Okay.
I finished DJing late on Saturday night. I went down, got some pizza down the main street of Surfers, and for those who don't party much or have not been to Surfers Paradise,
the Gold Coast,
there are some creatures getting around from the late hours.
It's normally me. I'm the creature.
No, these people look like they've been living under a rock somewhere and they've just had meth and they just come out. God knows where they live. This all happens about 11 p.m. onwards, and there's just people with jaws swinging. Their eyes look like possums.
So they look like you.
Yeah, just a lot of tongue hooking up, just like on the road.
Tongue hooking up? What do you mean? Please elaborate.
Just like a blue tongue lizard going ham on someone's face. Like imagine that.
A lot of slapping around.
There's been so many fights down the main street lately. Apparently 2 cops got bashed.
Yeah, right.
In a 30-person all-in brawl between 2 groups of fobs, which are fresh off the boats, which means Islander people.
It's a broad accusation. You're just
everyone knows fobs. There. Everyone knows what fob means.
Well, I'm just going to call them
I've got fob friends.
I'm going to call them the ferals of
No, because they're not all ferals.
They're all ferals. I'm sorry. But if you've been in Surfers, like at any time, even as soon as it gets dark, they crawl out of the woodwork and they literally are just like, it scares me that I get drunk sometimes in those spaces because I'm like, fuck knows what could happen to girls in those environments. Like if you're not with the right people at the right time, and Ryan's laughing because he calls me Handsy Henny because whenever I'm drunk, I'm super
I wasn't even thinking that, but you're giving yourself up right now. No worries.
I'm just going to disclose it anyway. It's just like, of course, Handsy Henny would be out in the street.
the question is where I'm leading this to. So I see some pretty horrible things, and I just want to know if you have a memory of any club experiences that you ring a bell in your mind.
Which one?
Disturbing stories. You're on a dance floor. something happened. Could be any time that you've ever been clubbing. Do you have any vivid memories? Could be one from Adelaide with a gargoyle. It could be anything.
Oh God, that was so bad.
It could be anything.
Okay, there's so many. I'm literally like getting flashes because like I think about how many times I've been to clubs and like where I've been to clubs, like overseas. Like overseas memories have probably been like the most wild of them all. The one that Ryan is implying to, I'm not going to disclose who the person is because she'll be internally screaming. But if you're listening,
You know.
you
know who you are.
You know who you are. We were in Adelaide for a weekend and we went out to a really established, classy venue, the old Dog and Duck, aka the Dog and Yuck. If you're from Adelaide, you will really be internally screaming at the idea of us partying there. I was slut dropping off of a stripper pole. Our friends and I were really going ham. We were dancing. And Ryan was sober, PS. So he was witnessing all of this as a sober human watching this unfold. And
out of the crypts of the darkness.
Yeah, this creature.
From the dark depths of the corner of the club.
Like, literally, it was like a gargoyle of the club. Like, I don't know where this little creature came from, but she was super small and she had these like talons.
No. I'll give you a brief description. So it all started looking. Imagine you're looking into a corner of a nightclub, and it's really dark.
He can answer it.
And then you can just see this face, like the club light slowly strobing onto this face as it clawed out of the darkness with these big, long French fingernails that were painted black.
Yeah.
She looked like Cruella de Vil. She had no eyebrows. She was, what's it called when they have?
Like an emo goth sort of.
Like an emo goth, like very pasty white, no eyebrows.
She was opaque, but she was wearing black and she had very like heavy makeup.
She had the full dog collar on, the spikes.
Yeah.
Everything, the works. And she came up and she saw
Again,
the
don't
wounded.
yuck someone's yum. If that's your jam in life and that's your fit, then you keep on doing you, but continue onwards. The context goes on.
Like in the wild when a lion spots a wounded deer. That's what she did. The girls were wounded. They were on the dance floor, slut dropping. They were weak prey. She had her eyes set on both of them.
On one though, and one in particular. Our friend.
Which was our friend. E. Because she was on it. No, I'm joking.
No, she wasn't.
No, I'm joking. So this little... Because she had a schmushmortion. When you go to the schmushmortion clinic and get a schmushmortion. No, so this little gargoyle crept over and intertwined these talons, which I only learned about this word after this story because Henny's like...
They were talons. Google
people don't know what talons are. They're like
it.
eagle claw things. The bottom of an eagle. Picture those big claws wrapping around Schmellen's stomach.
I hope Schmellen's listening to this.
And she was trying to like grind on her and do this breathing down her neck, and the girls were facing each other, so they didn't know what was going on. They were oblivious to what's going on. And I'm like, she's trying to hook up with her. So I'm there trying to pry each talon one by one that were intertwined off her stomach. And this little thing would not let go. And she followed you girls around for about 10 minutes. And I was like slapping her hands off. I'm like, she's taken, hun.
She's beaten off with a stick, yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
I'm pretty sure she hissed at you when you finally... Yeah, it's literally just like ran back into her little hole. Oh, you
painting homo things.
Okay, if you've seen The Wedding Crashers, then you'll understand the context of that little quote. We say it far too often. Whenever we're like departing out of a room, we say that.
Yeah.
You gotta watch
I'll
that
be
movie.
in my room. What is our situation, Grandma?
Yeah, that was a pretty horrific one. I feel like for me, most of my horrors lie with the fact that I lose my possessions. I mean, I lose my dignity often at the club, but my possessions, there's been some wild times trying to track those down. Handbags, Louis Vuitton handbag, one I lost completely, phone, everything. That was when I was younger, and it was so bad. I was so white girl wasted. Yes, this is not good for my reputation of alcohol. I just get so drunk and I put my handbag down and I like to dance, and then I just leave my handbag in random locations while I'm dancing. I need both hands to like move around and to get into it, apparently. One time I lost this Vuitton bag. I was 19. My mum gave it to me and it was like this most beautiful, and I was so excited to have it. And then I lost it, and having to tell my mom that I lost this bag that she gave me was one of the worst things ever. She was just furious. I still don't know. I mean, she bought me a replacement one, which was like amazing a few years down the track when she trusted me again, but I don't know where it is now.
Probably at the floor of some nightclub.
No, I thought that I kept it somewhere safe, but I don't know. I feel like for me, it's normally losing possessions that my club stories are really where it's at.
I love being a DJ. So when you're people are facing you, and I'm looking out at the crowd.
Yeah.
And I remember this gig was in Sydney where this happened, but it does happen quite frequently where a bunch of girls will be facing you and a guy will come behind and like grind on the girl, and you can see the face of the girl like that just gets locked onto, and they're like, fuck. And they're all looking at their friends, like giving them the eye, like, get this guy off me, like, help.
And they look at you going, it's safe.
And they're all in a circle and they're all just like, oh, fuck. And then the guy like is with his friends and he think he's killing it. Like, and I'm just seeing both facial reactions. So I'm looking at him thinking he's killing it and her trying to get the fuck away.
This could be a series. You just bring your phone out and start. Like,
I should do it.
You should.
I should do it more often.
Oh, the internal scream. I think every girl can relate though. Like when some fucking creature comes up and starts grinding behind you and you just think, abso-fucking-lutely not, loser. Go back to wherever you came from. Fuck all chance that we're hooking up tonight.
That's how it started back in my day. That's what you used to do.
Yeah, just like the
you used
old
to,
little
you
bob
just
over,
you
like.
grind up. You don't say anything. Just rub your sausage on their leg and just keep grinding. If they keep grinding with you, you know it's on.
Isn't
and if they walk
so
away,
gross that like that's like the way of the land. Like we've grown up in a culture where grinding another human is like your sign of it. You can't even have a conversation. You just have to grind your dick up and be like, yeah, that one's gonna go for me for sure.
Yeah, and I see a lot of guys. So the other thing that guys do is obviously buy the girls a drink.
Yeah.
And they automatically think that's like a token for sex. Like if a guy buys a girl a drink, they in return think they're in debt all night to get sex.
Do you know, I saw this really funny TikTok the other day and I was like, fuck, it's actually so true. In America, apparently, and Americans, you can say yes or no to this, but I was reading all the comments and everyone's like, it's true. American guys always pay for drinks for the girls. Like you never go to the club and pay for drinks if you're
Full
in America.
stop.
Like pretty much.
Unless you're ugly.
Yeah, I mean.
Unless you're a salad dodger.
I mean, they can be great conversation. Ryan Harper, you can talk.
That is literally just on the Lunatics that I just watched. I want to tell you, it was the funniest thing I heard him say.
Moving on.
The salad dodgers. I love that.
He keeps on saying it.
Anyway.
My scream is deafening. Anyway, so Americans, girls don't pay for drinks. Australia, like realistically, like yeah, guys will like occasionally buy a drink, but they expect sex like straight up from it. It's not like they're paying for your drinks all night long. They're doing like one measly vodka lime and soda, and that
You're
was
like, yeah, bro, I'm worth a bit more than $10.
Girls' standards have really slipped if they think that that's going to be the way of the land. Because obviously it works. Like obviously like they think that me buying you a drink works.
Yeah.
It does
I listened to Joe Rogan's podcast and he does a bit about monkeys. So captive monkeys, they gave them tokens, which in return they can trade in for a banana.
Yeah.
And the male chimps / monkeys, when they earn their tokens, they would give them to the girl monkeys so that they could get the banana and then they would fuck them.
So they trained these monkeys about the tokens and stuff?
No, they did. Like say the monkeys know that they give them bananas.
Yeah.
The tokens get the monkeys know that the tokens get the bananas.
The monkeys to know that the tokens gave them bananas.
No, they trained them that part.
Yeah, that's
but
what
now,
I'm saying, of course.
but they're
Not
saying
the
they've gone back to
fucking
like old tribal instincts of like monkeys have figured out their own form of prostitution.
But we do like a sort of like our lineage doesn't go that far away, so I'm not that surprised.
Yeah, so the monkeys have figured out that like, okay, I can give this little banana token to the female and she'll fuck me.
There you have.
There you go. Crazy, huh?
I mean, monkey see, monkey do, yeah?
That's it.
And we're out of here. No.
We've talked about 24 minutes of monkey sex. No, I'm joking.
All right, my question is up. We went from the club to monkey sex in one swift move. It's a real harpoon conversation.
How's the segues? We're going to get better.
How do you keep things spicy?
Hot chili sauce.
No.
Rub it all over it.
Over my clit? That would be fucking
No,
on
over
fire.
my dick. No. How do you keep it spicy? How do you keep it spicy? Mix it up. Do some new positions. Have sex not at home. That's a good one.
Not at home. Destination location.
We had sex. Remember? We had sex on a wine tour.
Not on a wine tour.
That
on
was
our own
fucking
wine. We were
hilarious.
At a
Like,
winery.
we were at a winery after like knowing each other for 2 months. That was fun.
Ryan was not drinking at that time. He was deep,
wasn't
deep in kombucha. No.
Was I sober?
Yeah, you were sober.
Spicy.
How do we keep our love life spicy?
I don't know. I think our sex is just spicy.
Yeah.
Henny's got a crazy sex drive. Like
Thank you.
I feel like, not to put it on most women, but I feel like males usually are the instigator or have the higher sex drive due to the testosterone flowing through their body. However, in some cases, girls, more or less, I think once they get into a relationship, they love having sex a lot more when they find someone they connect with.
Yeah.
But obviously there is the exception out there where there's girls just going rampant as well. But I think that you have an extremely high sex drive, which sometimes is higher than mine. I'll be chilling on the lounge and she's like, if it's not 2 times a day, she's not happy.
What? I kind of, I think that I spent like I don't know. I feel like as females, like as you evolve, as you like have sex with more people, and like I might have ended up like I'm not going to say that this person was bad at sex, but I would have been like complacent. Like I wasn't like desperate to have sex because I wasn't like coming all the time, or like I didn't really like get that much pleasure out of it. And I was even listening to this podcast the other day, like the thing that we should have been taught about in sex ed, like above, like obviously consent was like one thing that's like so important, but pleasure is something that you shouldn't just be like terrifying you by getting pregnant. That was pretty much all I can remember from sex ed. But it's like sex should be good for you. Sex should be like really pleasurable, and you should like want to have it. And I think a lot of people in relationships are just like, fuck, I better have sex to tick the box. Like, better not let it be a week. Better not let it be a month.
I think it's the first time, especially for guys. I remember the first time, like when you're a virgin, for a guy especially, it's all about when you lose it. Like you have to lose it when you're like 16. I feel like 15 or 16, because there's a lot of pressure on guys to have sex early.
Yeah.
Lots of it.
But you're not thinking about pleasure. Like, I don't know.
No, but I was scared. There is this, that's what they teach you. Like, you're going to, like, you could get them pregnant straight away, and you're at the age where you're like, that possibly could happen.
But I don't care.
I remember my first time I double strapped it. I put 2 condoms on. And it was my girlfriend at the time, and she got her period 2 weeks late. So we both lost our virginity with each other. Yeah. And then I went to school, and then like, I think I was at year 8 or something. She might have been in year 7 or something, like the year below me. Yeah. And then she texted me and was like, I haven't got my period. And we were freaking out for like 2 weeks, and we didn't know, we were trying to figure out how to tell someone that could take us to get a test. Yeah. Because I was like, told someone that I lost my virginity. And I was like, I wore 2 condoms, so it should be sweet. And they're like, you fucking idiot. That they rub together and then they break. So then that solidified friction that I thought she was pregnant. Oh my God. So for 2 weeks I was stressing about what parent or what auntie or cousin I could get to take us.
I'm sure there's little harpoons running around rampant anyway.
Couple out west.
God knows. But no, I don't think
Scary
that like
times.
I think that when you get to the point, like I think that you can evolve into becoming a really sexual person. Like, I don't think that like I necessarily was like, I've always had a high sex drive, but never to the point that like I do like love having sex at the moment, like as much as I do. And that hasn't really like, I was even expecting it to dip down.
What can I say?
His strike rate is bad. I just
she's gotten into porn too, which is good.
Yeah, we've been exploring that avenue as well.
Henny used to hate if I have a Maz, we like to call it.
Have a Maz because he watches gangbang porn the whole entire time.
No, she just used to get angry if I've had a Maz because she thinks I don't love her.
I don't know. I feel like for females, it's like if they're masturbating, you're like, am I not satisfying them enough? And I think because like this isn't like another education thing in terms of sex stuff. And I don't think I'd really ever had these conversations with partners previously about masturbating or like how frequently or like when they were doing it. So like I think for a lot of females, like they would look at pornographic content and it's kind of like to them like oh my gosh, like, am I not like sexually pleasing my partner enough that they have to go elsewhere to be able to like pleasure themselves? And it's like fully an education, just that like pleasure is a conversation to have. It's also like pornography. Like if you don't use it yourself, like I'm not someone that needs to like watch pornographic content to like masturbate. Like it's not for me, like it's not really something for me. But like I can
think
like
they make
visualize
it. They do make it for that reason. That's why it's probably one of the biggest industries in the world.
No, but I'm not gonna. I'm not.
But no,
saying
I
that
see
it's-
where you're coming
I'm just
from.
like,
I
it's
can
like
understand that you would
and
think
if you've
like,
never had
oh,
the conversation before with a partner, like I've never had a partner. If I don't watch porn, like before I started like seeing you, but also B, if I'd never had a conversation with a partner before, of course you're going to think like, oh, am I not sexually pleasing themselves?
yeah,
But-
I can understand. I can get that point
it's
of.
like it's a different sort of stimulus. Like
So
you guys like
the reason behind it is I can fully understand you can feel that way because you could feel like, okay, I'm not doing the right things to please him sexually.
Yeah.
But what it actually is, I remember like most guys wank, I would say once a day, if not twice a day, if they're single, whatever.
Yeah.
And then from when I met you, I remember, I think I told you for like 2 months, I was telling my mate Scotty, who I work with, I was like, I actually haven't had a wank for 2 months because like we were having sex all the time. So I was like, there's no need for me to have a wank.
Yeah.
But there is pleasure you get. There's like a certain type of fun when you just do it yourself, you know, once
but I
every
feel
now and a
that now as
while,
well.
like now that you know. But it's also another thing is time. Like sometimes you just want to clean the pipes out. But sex takes a long time, you know. You might be 15,
Well,
20
what do
minutes
you
having
mean?
it.
You?
Not for
Not
me.
for you.
Oi. You might be like 1 or 2 minutes in the
A couple of
bedroom.
strides and he's he's
Two
at least
pump
4
chop.
pumps and he's
It takes a long time, and then you got to shower. We have a shower before we have sex, which is a great
we
idea
like
for
it
everyone out there.
clean,
Like nice and
pristine
fresh,
cock.
pristine
as
cock
Ryan
and pussy, nice and clean all around. Hey, mum, by the way, thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, sorry.
No, we have a shower before and after.
Yeah.
So there's a sex would
That's
be
why I
half
fake
an hour.
tan twice
say,
a week, guys, because I got to shower before and after sex. We've got
Yep.
that routine going on.
and I feel like I can just quickly rub one out within 1 or 2 minutes. I just go bang, righto. I'm straight back into work. I just needed to get a clear head. And when a guy actually comes, you get a clear head. It's called post nut clarity, PNC.
Yeah, right.
And a lot of business decisions from the most wealthy executives all around the world are done from having a clean head and the way they do that. Clean thoughts, clean mind, and they rub one out so you can think clearly.
So moral of the story, ladies and gentlemen, is let your partner masturbate. Otherwise, he or she will not be of clear mind.
I think even Wolf of Wall Street, you can actually see it. He's like, how many times a day you masturbate? He's like, 1 or 2 a week. And he's like, those are rookie numbers. You need to get them up.
Yeah, right.
Don't you know that? Haven't you seen that scene?
No, I haven't. I don't really remember. I wasn't
When he's
really-
like, mm,
oh, yeah.
mm.
It sounds good on the headphones. It really like Rob.
Oh, the second one was bad.
Yeah, it's got
Got a bit of confusion from my throat. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yes, moving on.
So spiciness.
I don't even know if we answered the question. We just go off on tangents.
I
But
mean,
it's mainly me.
it's-
Sorry if the question doesn't get answered. It's
I
just
think
me
I
going
answered
off.
it. I think you just went on a wild time.
Yeah, it's
All right, you're up next. Talk to me, sugar.
Talk to you. The things I wanted to chat about were just like vastly off topic to what's going on right now.
So we might keep on going with my questions then, because
We could possibly go there.
He's probably
I
going.
reckon go there because I'm going to go on to a tangent of
God knows
some.
what.
I'll get there. We'll get there towards the end
Okay.
if you want.
All right, and maybe next time. We're like chipping in. It's like a lot. 35 minutes. We're already like in deep.
Got in deep, masturbating and monkey sex, so we're going good.
All right. What's the most awkward thing that has happened in sex for you? Yeah?
You set that question up, motherfucker.
I planted that one. I 100%. I'm going to be
motherfucker,
transparent. I'm going to be transparent. I planted this question because when Rai told me this story, I was not only disgusted, but also mortified and terrified that this could potentially happen to me. All right, take the floor, sugar.
So this is from a previous ex-girlfriend. Won't name her name because she's a beautiful person. So one night I decided to cook one of my signature dishes, which is chicken fettuccine.
It's real creamy, guys.
It's a real creamy dish.
Real creamy.
About a kilo of light cooking cream in there,
cheese, there's
sweet
a lot.
chili.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's a lot of good things in there. It tastes amazing, by the way.
Yeah.
So I cooked that, followed up by my favorite tub of ice cream. It's the Sara Lee one I think we used to get. I forgot the name of it. It's a
We don't get
dark,
that one.
Yeah, we haven't got
anymore,
it because we're shredding. I used to be a fat cunt. Henny's like, don't say that word, but it's our podcast, so I don't care.
I don't mind the word cunt. I mean, I have problems with the word fat. What was the thing you said before? Salad? The salad.
A salad dodger.
That's you.
I'm going to go off on a tangent about weight in a minute anyway.
Okay, onwards.
But anyway, the chocolate ice cream, we had a full tub of that, half each.
Oh, that's a lot of ice
Watched
cream.
a movie.
You would
we were really connecting. We were both just watching a movie.
The conversation was flowing.
It was flowing.
High
we went
connective
upstairs.
points.
We went upstairs and she started going down on me.
Ooh, Harpoon.
Spicy. So she was going down on me for a couple of minutes or maybe like 4 or 5 minutes. I started getting like pretty excited and I pushed her head down a little bit too far. And this noise and just went, and just like I just felt, and she vomited all up from my dick, my balls, halfway up my chest, and it smelt so bad. You know, stomach bile. You know, like the smell of that. It's like a lot came up, so bile came up with it, and I was just like, yeah. I turned the lights on, and I had like chicken noodle, like these big thick chicken fettuccine noodles, but they were covered in chocolate cream because that was like ice cream and the cream from dinner. Yeah. It was very creamy, very noodly, very biley. Not a vibe. But I was trying to not.
You would call that a connective point.
I was trying not to make her feel bad. And she's like, and it, you know when it comes at your nose and you go, and then it's like half a noodle hanging out the nostril. And she's like, oh my God, this is fucked. And I was like, no, it's fine, babe. Like, don't worry about it. Like, trying to make her not feel bad. She's like, this is fucked. Started crying and she like ran to the shower room to clean it. And I was like, oh, don't worry, it's all fine. That was possibly. I've had some horrible stories. You'll hear them all. That's just one of many. I've got plenty.
I think we've all got horror sex stories.
But I want to touch back onto the weight thing while we're on it. Because I listened to a podcast the other day, the one that you recommended me.
Yeah.
What was the guy's name again? So it's on the Diary of a CEO.
Yeah. I've got a playlist of all the podcasts that I like and save, so I think it's the most recent one.
And he is a great person to listen to. He's also trying to beat the call out culture, what we're doing.
Yeah.
And he's saying, you know, girls, now there's no problem. I'm not calling anyone fat or anything, like I'm not doing that in real life. But what he is saying, and I agree with him, so I agree to an extent, that people are supporting obesity in the fact of like, yeah, they're like, okay, you have a plus size model on magazines and now they're, you know, this person has so much body positivity. But what he's saying is there's nothing positive about being morbidly obese. For the health reasons, you're like encouraging people to have like a heart disease, high blood pressure. You're pretty much encouraging people to have a shorter life because you will die from being too overweight. Yeah. And I agree with him 100%. You can't say anyone is overweight anymore. And I disagree. I think you should be able to say that.
Yeah.
I agree with this guy.
I think our society is extremely precious these days about weight and whether it is like the extreme of like too skinny to like too overweight, to just normal girls then being told that they're chubby or fat by people and stuff as well, like just a normal size. It's making people really confused of like what is healthy and what does healthy look like. So I tend to agree. It's like,
it's a very grey area. There's a blurry line. It's
a really hard area. Like, of course, like I want people, like for me, like I'm body positivity. I'm about like accepting your body at whatever shape and size it is. But of course, like if you're putting yourself, like if you're not healthy, and by healthy I mean if you're not nourishing your body with a good food and you're not eating like processed
exercising
food heavily, if you're not exercising and if you're not caring for your body, no, I don't think that's healthy. No, I don't think that that was acceptable. And I'm not going to be the person that's ever going to say to anyone like, you're not healthy, like you're not looking after yourself, like you're fat, or like that's not my place. It's not my place to do so. But do I condone society then saying that like morbidly obese people who are going to be extremely unhealthy, but furthermore to that, are going to teach their children that like this is the normal for eating, like this is how you should look after your body.
And
do
so
I think
many-
that's wise? No, I don't think that's wise. I think that that's quite negligent actually, and it's like health magazines are then condoning a behavior that is like an extremely negligent behavior to be like approving as society.
Yeah.
I think that
Making it more than acceptable to, you know, be unhealthy. It's
Yeah.
promoting being unhealthy at the end of the day.
which is like not what it's about. I think body positivity versus health is like two very different things. And I think the major problem that we're like dealing with at the moment is that the lines are so blurred, like what you were saying, like that people don't know what healthy looks like anymore. Like
No.
it's like we're all so confused from like, you know, it was like keto diet is the healthy thing. And then it's like low carb diets are the healthy thing. And so like all these diets, all of these conversations are around anymore. Like no one even knows. So people are just going like, whatever, I'll just eat whatever the fuck I want. I won't train. I'll move my body like occasionally. Like I say move your body in a positive way. I don't mean don't move your body at all. Like I mean like when
Move
I
your
say
body to
that-
the fridge and back.
no, I mean like of course like move your body that feels right, but like you need to move your body each day. We are designed as humans to move and to exercise. It's going to make you feel better. It's going to look after your organs. It's going to have a whole ripple effect. So like of course like caring for your body. I'm like extremely passionate about this because it really frustrates me as well, because like I think a lot of people get confused, and particularly our younger generation are confused of what the idea of health is. So no, I don't personally, like you will never hear me being like, oh, that girl's a fatty, or like, oh, that person's like, I don't like that conversation. I think that it's quite disgusting. I actually used to make my girls in gym, when I used to own my studio, do 10 burpees every time they would call themselves fat, because I was just like, I do not accept any of my girls ever calling themselves fat or just be speaking about themselves negatively in that mindset. I'd be like punishing them for saying, like for doing that.
It's sort of
because
helping the cause, to be honest. If they call
well,
themselves
no,
fat,
'cause
they're
they were-
losing weight because
no,
you're
'cause I just
making them do
wanna-
burpees.
Yeah, because they hated doing burpees. They hated it so much. So I didn't want them negatively talking about their bodies in my room. Like if I was going to be standing there as their coach, and these girls were fit as fuck. They were so fit. They were so lean and so healthy. So they weren't the people that needed to be doing the 10 extra burpees, but I wasn't going to ever condone that behavior. Like I just don't think it's cool. I don't think it's on. But yeah,
I think it's
that-
like, imagine the people that are brought up in certain families that don't know.
Yeah, that's
so
what I'm
for
saying,
example,
kids,
from
like,
my
know it.
from my family, we eat pretty much everything, but I know for a fact that I hate tomato. You hate
Yeah, we
tomato
both
too.
hate tomatoes.
So for example, if we're gonna rear a child,
yeah.
they
Rear a child or rear?
no.
It's not rare a child.
Is it?
It's rear a child.
Are you sure?
You don't
Wait,
rear a child.
I'm pretty sure you do.
No.
How do you say it? I'm gonna look it up.
Guys, he's Googling it, but I'm pretty certain it's not rare a child. It's REAR.
Rare child. Let me just look this up. Wait, I can't remember which one I said.
You said rare a child.
It is rare a child.
It's rear a child. You don't rear a child.
What's spelt rare? Shout out to
Play the
Rare.
sound.
You can get our new tracksuit
Play the
pants.
sound. Wait, is there the sound when it does that? It's rear a child. It's not rare a child.
Let us know. Link in the comments. Is it rare or is it
No.
is it rear?
I think it's
I think rear.
yeah, because it's child rearing.
Yeah, right. Henny's right
Maybe
then.
we-
But let us know in the comments.
Rare. But if you're
No,
going to
so
bring
for
up a
example, we're
child-
not going to be eating tomato.
Our dog is doing something real funny over there right now.
We're not going to be eating tomato, that's for sure, in our house. So
definitely
what if
not.
our child really would have loved tomato but never got the opportunity until the age that they could go out and pay for their own meals? And that goes for the people, you know, living with parents that are extremely unhealthy and they're just
Yeah.
brought up on, you know, deep fried nuggets for dinner and
Yeah.
some, you know, mum comes home from her 9 to 5 and puts half a kilo of bloody potato wedges in and
But that's also like the other like
And they just don't know any better.
From too is like if you're in a really healthy household, let's say, like if you're only brought up to ever eat like super healthy food, and then as an adult you're allowed to eat unhealthy food, and you're like, fuck, this is so exciting, like this is such a treat, I'm able to eat unhealthy food now. Then they blow out because they're like, I was never able to have it as a kid. So it's like one way or the other. I just think that like adults need to be educated on how to do nutrition properly, and it doesn't have to be super scientific. Like, I'm so fucking sick of all the science and people overcomplicating it. Like, eat your like food in balance, like eat the way that feels right for you, and like move your body. Like, that it's like really so simple, but people just make it so fucking hard. And even for like, you know, parents who are buying fast food for their kids, they're like, oh, it's cheaper for me to buy fast food. It's cheaper to buy processed food. It's fucking
And it
not.
is. No. Hey, it's not. It is cheap.
not.
It is cheaper to eat shit.
It's not. I guarantee
No. It is to eat healthy. It's actually fucked up. If you want to eat nice, good quality meat, good quality veggies, you can actually go down the road to fucking Hungry Jack's.
I disagree.
Nah, you can go to McDonald's and get a Happy Meal for $5.
Anyone
or you can go get a $10 Scotch fillet steak.
No.
But people are lazy.
No.
And
I'm
also,
disagree completely. Which
to add to
so
this,
okay.
you can vouch for me on this. We went to go get a single visit in Sydney at a gym, $35 per person.
Yeah.
In what world would anyone pay $35 per session to go to a gym?
I know, and it was such a busy gym too. It was like you wouldn't have even got on a piece of equipment, I don't think. But in terms of the actual cost, you can absolutely eat healthy on a budget if
you can eat healthy on a budget. If
you are educated to know like what sources of protein and carbohydrates and good fats that are a lower cost, but people don't want to make the effort to like actually invest in educating themselves properly so that they could care for their family.
I agree to an extent. So I agree you can eat really healthy on a budget, but I think it is highly accessible for people to...
Let us know, guys. I want you guys to let us know. You can DM us. You can let us know. Do you think it's possible to eat healthy on a budget?
No, that's what I'm not even saying that. I literally just agreed with that.
You did. You said it was cheaper to go down to McDonald's and buy a $5 burger versus buying a Scotch fillet.
Exactly. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's good food.
You could cook a massive spaghetti bolognese.
I didn't say that. I literally said, if you listen to what I said, you can 100% eat healthy on a budget, but I said... It's 100% more convenient for people that are in an overweight state to go down. It's quicker. You don't have to actually cook, which people are lazy.
Yeah.
You literally drive down and it's $5 to have your kids screaming like, I want a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
It's easier to give them
and they're happy,
a Happy Meal
and they're like,
than it is to cook a proper good meal.
Okay, yes, I agree on that front.
But here's a question for you. Do you think
yes,
if you could have...
Yeah.
Silence, please, dog. Okay, if you could eat healthy and have the right amount of nutrients per calorie, so say if you just blended up all the stuff, spinach, kale, like all these random things that your body needs.
Yeah. A multivitamin.
All your vitamins, all your veggies, all your meats, whatever you want.
Yeah.
And you could just automatically tube it into your stomach because a lot of the good food tastes like shit.
Yeah.
And that's probably why people don't eat it.
Yeah.
So imagine if you... took away all the taste factor out of it. You just blended up stuff and just tubed it into your stomach. So whenever you're hungry, you just tubed a meal down there.
Yeah.
People would be a lot healthier, right? Because they don't have to have the taste of chocolate in their mouth
I think the perfect
lettuce
example
or whatever it is.
When we had COVID and you couldn't smell something, like, and you couldn't really taste as well, like, particularly smell I found, because like you kind of lost your appetite, like you kind of lost the will to be like wanting really sugary foods or like wanting anything. So if you remove that from the equation, like,
I swear we're eating like pigs in lockdown.
Not lockdown, but we had COVID.
Oh, COVID.
Yeah. I was like, in lockdown, I was like, we were in hotel quarantine. Yeah,
Stop barking. What are you doing?
In hotel quarantine, we absolutely... Come on. No. Our dog is just barking, guys. You can probably hear him in the background going hamping like, why the fuck is this dog just ruining our conversation right now? Oh,
I just saw a text at him.
He really does completely miss
That'll,
that.
I hope he doesn't eat it. Will he chew it?
Probably, yeah.
Wait.
So many yellow text.
No, he's
he
not.
doesn't want it.
No.
No.
We're
not
going
to wrap it up.
No, what did you just say? We had to finish on what you just said.
We did just finish on what we said.
No, I had something else to add to that.
What else
What did you say? What were we just talking about?
We were talking about that in COVID, when I had COVID and you had like no sense of taste and smell.
Oh, yeah, because I was just going to say that
pretty much, like if you could just take a tablet.
It was over Christmas. That's what I was going to say, because we were having Christmas ham and it tasted like shit. It's one of my favorite meals of the year. We had
it was sticky date pudding. We made my mum salted caramel sticky date pudding, and it was like so good. Except we're like, why does this caramel sauce is like not taste like caramel? Like it was so faint, it was so like mild, and we're like, this is fucked. And then we're like,
we had about like 3 teaspoons of cranberry sauce on each slice of ham, and I couldn't taste any of it.
Absolutely anything.
But the things I wanted to note about quickly that are going on in the world, just some random topics. You don't have to
really wants to throw in some random topics, so just play along, fam.
Henny, like we wanted to say, we're not very political. Neither of us are political, so we're not going to give many political views on like politics and all that like shit.
I don't get into shit that I'm not educated on.
I just wanted to make it aware that there's been a wild, crazy mass shooting overseas.
You're going to bring this up.
She didn't want to talk about it, but I just wanted to bring it to people's attention because in other podcasts, I like to know what's going on in the world.
Yeah.
And it's been pretty sad for the American people at the moment.
Absolutely
and they're
terrifying.
like going through what we were doing with the gun laws and stuff. We're not going to get into that sort of politics, which is pretty crazy. And also, did you know about the Bitcoin, the big collapse?
The crash?
The Bitcoin crash.
Yeah, okay, so Ryan is like trying to make me like, he's trying to make me come across that I'm ignorant. I'm not actually someone that's ignorant of political events. I do stay very involved.
Say you were ignorant.
No, let me finish. But I'm
we
like,
just don't like talking about it.
I get involved like in terms of like, I do my work on the outside. Like I look into the information, I understand the information and I help where I can help, right? But I don't with my page, like with my content creation and stuff, like I haven't set up my page that I'm ever going to be into politics or I'm someone that is an authority in this field or area. So I don't feel the need, and I shouldn't have to feel the need to talk about stuff that I don't feel educated about. And it makes me mad because like you get so many fucking little Karens come at you being like, why aren't you talking about this event? Why aren't you talking about this event? Why aren't you talking about that? And particularly like, when shootings happen, I get the DM saying like, can you please share this? Like when stuff is happening overseas with wars and like civil unrest and everything, people will message you saying, can you share this? Well, no, I can't share something that I'm not educated
the thing
enough
is,
to be discussing.
there's always something going on in the world.
Yes,
so you shouldn't have, like if your page was about that, you'd be sharing a different fucking world crisis. There'll be a tsunami there, a flood here, a fire there.
My page for entertainment and happiness and joy and upbeat, and like that's what I want to do. Like I just want to keep on doing that. So like even when you're like sitting here right now being like, oh, Henny doesn't want to talk about it. Well, no, Henny doesn't want to talk about it.
No, that's not. I think you're taking the whole thing out of context completely. I'm not asking you for your political views. I mean, this is what I said off camera as well. It's literally stating like, if we're in a conversation sitting on the lounge, I'll be like, hey, did you just see that there was a mass shooting? And you'd be like, no, what the fuck? And then I'll just tell you about it.
Oh, okay.
So that's what I wanted this conversation to be about. So it's not about your page.
I can't wait, guys, for the day that Ryan comes in.
You can spring anything you want on me.
No. When he comes into the conversation with one of his news facts, and I sit here just like blindly believing it, and I bet you it's going to be some false accusation.
I'm like, did you know aliens are real? Which they actually are as well. That's another one for you.
Let's delve into that another time.
But Bitcoin took a huge loss.
Yeah.
You're not into the Bitcoin scene, so you don't really know too much about it.
I do not have Bitcoin.
I'm a very novice myself. I put in a couple of $1,000s. I put $5,000 into Bitcoin 3 months ago. So there was 3 coins that dropped, for those who don't know, Henny especially. So there's 3 coins. There's one called Terra.
Yeah.
One called Luna.
Yeah.
The other one's called UST.
Yeah.
Now I had some of Luna. I had $500 in Luna and I had 5.5 in USDT. But because I'm a novice and I didn't even know what I bought, USDT is the stable coin. So it's like buying shares in a bank, like Woolworths. So there's not very high reward, but there's no high risk either.
Yeah.
So it sort of sits around, the dollar mark. Even doesn't go up too much, doesn't go down too much.
Yeah.
And this thing crashed overnight. You just turned me down. You're over my Bitcoin.
You're shouting so loud. Ryan doesn't realize like how loud he talks, and I'm like, I thought I was turning my headphones down.
The headphones up here. Why don't you tell me to turn your headphones down if you're over me?
Oh no, that's better. That's better. Thank you.
You guys can clock out now. Henny's clocking out. She's like Bitcoin.
I'm actually trying to hit mute somewhere here about Bitcoin.
Fuck off. This is affecting you because this is your Bali holiday money gone out the fucking window.
I'll get my own Bali holiday money, loser. I'll get it myself.
Anyway, so these coins crashed to fucking nothing. And I was at the airport coming to pick my dad up. I wasn't going to pick you up. I was actually picking my dad up.
Yeah.
But I saw a meme and someone's like, oh, these coins crash. And I thought, no, this has got to be a joke. And I was like crying inside. I was like, fuck, I just lost $5,000.
Yeah.
But there was one letter difference. I have USDT, not UST. But so many people around the world have lost millions, like billions and billions of dollars have just gone. People have lost their houses.
All right.
Yeah, you're not a person to have this conversation with. This is why I need a boys podcast so I can talk about manly things like the football,
so we can talk about
Bitcoin.
I mean, it's one of those things. Like, I really have missed the whole entire boat with Bitcoin, and a lot of people would be listening to this being like, "Fuck, I really did." And what's those other things? NFTs.
NFTs. So I try and tell Henny about NFTs. You guys will all hear about them soon if you haven't already. They are the future.
Yeah.
Australia as a whole, we're so far behind.
Yeah.
Every podcast in America is talking about NFTs. We're like the only country that is so slow.
Yeah.
NFTs, non-fungible tokens, the little pieces of artwork, which they're making into, you can allow them to be accessed to a certain club, for example. That can be your entry fee. People are making festivals. So, for example, what's a big festival here? Maybe like... used to be Stereosonic. That would have been the biggest one. There's another one called Festival X at the moment.
Yeah, that's sick. PS, if you're in the Gold Coast, see you there.
Yes, we're going to go to that. Festival X, for example, instead of selling a hard copy ticket, would sell you an NFT. Mm-hmm. And then everyone who owns an NFT can come to the festival.
That's cool.
And maybe they'll do something along the lines of you can get into every festival for the next few years with this NFT.
Right.
And when you own the NFT, if you sold me your NFT, you make 10% commission on it if I sell it onwards again. So whoever's the original owner just keeps making commission.
Yeah.
It's a pretty smart thing. All the big influencers are doing it. You're going to hear lots about it. I know. Have you heard about...
He's on a rant now, guys. Buckle on in. We're on a financial NFT.
No, Web3. So Web3 is the new...
No, I think we can leave Web3 for another time.
You're boring. I hate you. I'm leaving this podcast for good.
That's it. I'm leaving.
All we have to talk about is Henny's fucking calorie intake. Nothing interesting goes on here.
Shut your mouth when
I'm talking about the
to me.
future. You're talking about calories. Okay, let's go.
Dedicated. But thank you so much for joining us tonight, guys. We hope you enjoyed hanging out.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
We hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us. Make sure if you like the podcast, if you want to hear more of us, that you... send us a DM and also give it a share on your page. It means the world to us.
If you want to hear about some cool stuff.
Yeah, right. Hit up Ryan's DM.
Some proper cool stuff.
Yeah, we'll get a guest speaker on here where you two
get
can
some guest speakers.
All right, guys. We'll talk to you soon. Bye. Peace.
Wait, I fucking hate you. Can't.
You shut your mouth.
Such a domestic. What?